proudly sponsored by heshes.co.uk, a fast-growing boxing equipment brand that give 20% of all sales on the branded products back to a boxing gym of your choice.
Hello and welcome back to the All Things Rugby League podcast on Niche Sports. I'm once again joined by Jordan, and we are proudly sponsored by Hes Boxing Equipment for all boxing equipment needs, and money off every sale goes back to a boxing gym of your choice. So, Jordan, how's your week been so far?
It's been good. Lots of great rugby last week, and can't wait to cover it tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So you managed to get yourself along to a couple of games, am I right in saying? Yeah,
I went to Halifax Saints, which was a good game. Halifax did very well. Then Hull FC Casford, which was brilliant from my perspective as a Hull FC fan.
Definitely. And this week will be a bit different because we'll look at Challenge Cup results and also preview upcoming Super League, NRL and Championship and League One games in as best detail as we can. But obviously try keep it short enough to be a good listen. So just diving right into obviously the Super League teams played in the Challenge Cup last week, joined by a few Championship teams, which, you know, results sort of showed that the gulf in class in a couple of those games. But I do think the Championships teams put up well against them. I guess the first game we could talk about is Halifax Panthers versus Saints. A game that you're at. So sort of touching on the Super League side of things, we'll talk about Panthers a wee bit later on, but Saints, how do you think they got on?
Not as comfortably as they'd like to have got on, I think. They did well, obviously. It was a professional job. They kept going, got the result that they wanted, and you know, they did what they could. It's always play what's in front of you. And I guess going to a championship side and going to a new ground that you're not really used to is always a different challenge. And Saints really stood up to that. Obviously, as I say, it wasn't really as convincing as I probably would have liked, but they put out a good team. They went at it. A good performance really for the full 80 minutes. And I think it was good for some of their players like Sione Matautia. Players like that who had got back, and actually Morgan Knowles, who had just returned from a ban, but I'm sure we'll touch on him a little bit later on. It was good. It was good to get some more minutes in them, and obviously give players like James Roby a rest.
Yeah, no, exactly. Getting to rest some players, still getting the 26-6 final result in their favour and through to the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup. And you know, it's a win everyone sort of expected, so it's good for them to get that over the line with minimal issues, and sort of into the next round, and they can focus back this week on their Super League campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Minimal issues for sure. I think, as I say, Halifax pushed them along, and that really was a test of them to keep going, because obviously we've seen that Saints haven't been the strongest in them difficult positions this year. But obviously, as I said, they got across the line. They kept going. Obviously, had issues like the disciplinary again stood out as another bit of an issue for them throughout the game. Lots of penalties and needless errors, which is not a figment of a Saints team we're used to seeing. But at the end of the day, they played with confidence and got the win, so that's all that matters.
It is, exactly. And another Super League team facing a Championship team, and a result going more their way. Hull KR 50 to Batley 0. Obviously, you spoke with Craig Lingard during the week last week, obviously, and the result for his team on Friday night, not quite there. I didn't actually catch any of this, but you know, Hull KR looked dominant from wee clips I've seen here and there, and got over the line plenty. It'll be disappointing for Batley as well, but you know, we'll touch on them later in our Championship portion. What did you make of Hull KR this week?
Well, my first thought was, obviously you don't expect Batley to stop them, and Hull KR are playing brilliantly. You know, it was, no one really expected an upset. But again, a brilliant effort from KR, even against a team that, and you know, not at Hull KR's level, to put in a performance as strong as that when it's a potential banana skin sort of game, and the sort of game where they don't really need to showcase as much skill to get the win. To do it is brilliant for them, and it just shows how much of an improvement has come to them. And I'm sure they'll be very proud on the whole.
Yeah, definitely. Another Super League team going into that quarter-final stage of the Challenge Cup. And other news out of Hull KR this week, Hiku from the North Queensland Cowboys signed a, I believe, 3-year deal with Hull KR. A lot of people said Lachlan Coote's replacement, as he's obviously hanging up the boots at the end of the season. I'm not too sure it will be. I know he has played games at fullback, but he's more of a centre to trade. A bit of a surprising sort of a pickup for Hull KR, but I've seen lots of positives from their fan base on Twitter this week about it. What's your thoughts about that signing for next year?
I think it's a positive for them. Whether he plays fullback, centre, I think it's a quality signing. He's obviously a centre by trade, yes, but he's versatile in that back line, and he's a great signing for him. And obviously, when he was last in Super League, he got 10 tries and 11 appearances. So he's proven he can do it in Super League. He's prolific, and I think he'll be a brilliant addition to KR's back line.
Yeah, and a big thing that everyone's sort of mentioned as well. He's a current New Zealand international, so someone like that in the ranks with plenty of NRL experience, plenty of a wee bit of Super League experience that he's proved himself in. I think it's a good sign for them too, but maybe
Absolutely.
not that fullback that they're looking for.
Yeah, I don't think he can quite fill in Lachlan Coote's role. That's a big role to fill, and I'm not sure he's the right person for that. But who knows? It might be. It's a different game over here.
Exactly. The last Challenge Cup game on Friday night was Lee Leopards beating Wakefield Trinity 40 points to 12. So another high scoring game and a bit of a blowout in the end. But I don't think we really seen it any other way. Although I think last week we might have mentioned Wakefield getting a wee bit closer than that.
Yeah, I think I did predict the league quite comfortably, but I didn't expect it to be that overwhelmingly comfortable. That it's just it's difficult for Wakefield to find anything, and I've got to be a bit difficult to what I say about Wakefield now, considering my links with them. But I think Lee, it's another great performance from them. They look more like they just it's a team that's playing with confidence, and a team that's with confidence can't be stopped. And going up against a team that are low on confidence and have lost a few key games recently, like against Hull FC the week before, it's going to be difficult for them. But to go down like that in a cup game where anything can happen and there's not as much riding on it is going to be disappointing from a Wakefield perspective.
Yeah, and you touched on it there. You mentioned your sort of new link to Wakefield. Can you expand on that just yet?
Not yet. I'm going down there tomorrow to find out what I'm going to be doing, but I will be working with Wakefield over the summer. It's just quite an exciting thing.
No, definitely. Congratulations, and
thank you.
Yeah, look out for what Jordan's going to be doing when he works with Wakefield this summer. But yeah, big congratulations, and that's a well-deserved opportunity for yourself.
Thanks. Congratulations to you about your links with Scotland as well.
No, definitely, yeah. So both of us gaining some exciting news. I'm not too sure how much I can say just yet, but yeah, going to be working with Scotland Rugby League directly, as well as the Rugby League in Scotland page that started. So some exciting times for everyone here at Niche Sports, and it's good to see how quickly it's grown for us. So getting on to the Saturday Challenge Cup games this time round, we had Wigan Warriors edging out Leeds Rhinos 18 points to 14. I think the major talking point from this match was that 2-on-1 near the end, which didn't go Leeds' way.
Yeah, I think that could have been a contender for the knockout blow of the week, but obviously not quite getting it. But I think, yes, Harry Newman should have passed that. But again, I think the criticism maybe on Harry Newman's a bit too much, because Richie Myler, obviously brilliant support player to be up there with him, but it was slightly ahead of Newman at the time, of a perfect time to pass. And Bevan French, obviously, it was a great attack from him to stop the threat. So I think, yes, it'd be wrong to say Newman didn't. He should have passed it, and probably that would have been a try for Leeds. But at the same time, it's been wrong for him to get the amount of criticism that he has.
Yeah, no, I'd agree, because like you said, there's plenty of clips now out there that show Myler was ahead of the ball, or ahead of where he should have been to be in
Yeah.
place for that pass. But yeah, hats off to Ben French as well. That's not an easy tackle to make, and you'd definitely see a lot of people sort of jumping out for the intercept or the big play, or to avoid the tackle even. So it's a big play, and we spoke about last week that it would be another close game between Wigan and Leeds. Obviously, Leeds getting the better of them in the Super League the round before. So it was always going to be a close game, and I think we might have both. I can't actually remember what we said, but we one of us definitely edged Wigan to take this one.
Yeah, I think it was you. But I think from a Leeds perspective, obviously to get one win out of 2 games is going to be huge for them, and I think based off their position in the league one's probably the more important win to have got. So I think they'll be very happy with that one. But yeah, Wigan again, a very close game, and not probably one we wanted to be drawn into, but a win's a win. Obviously, it's the cup. Nothing's a given.
Definitely. And speaking of close games, I think that was the theme of Saturday. Warrington Wolves obviously going to Catalans and taking the win 16 points to 14. Again, I've not really caught much of this game, being such a busy week, but that's really good for Warrington. With them now on top of the league and in a Challenge Cup quarter-final. And that was probably one of the harder games out there for any team. So to sort of see off another top dog in this stage and get through the quarterfinals is a massive achievement for them.
Absolutely. I think you've got to feel bad for Catalan, obviously, going down in the way that they did. Matty Ashton's late try, but as you say, it was a tie that probably was the tie of a round. Maybe what we predicted before, and arguably the actual game was game of a round. But it's one of them games where Warrington winning that is huge, Catalan winning that is huge for either side. So for Warrington to do that, and they've obviously already done it this season, winning 2018 in the league fixture, it's an impressive feat to do it twice to Catalan in the same year.
Yeah, definitely. They've got their number this year so far, but it's a long year, plenty still to play for. And then 82 points in a game going on to the last game on Saturday. Salford Red Devils obviously coming out 42-40 winners against Huddersfield Giants. I think we thought this would be close, and I know that we didn't expect this amount of points. We always say Salford can run in tries and concede just as many, and it showed. 2 points in it, and I've seen a lot sort of some negatives about this isn't a great showcase for the sport. No defence sort of being played. I've also seen another argument: 82 points in a game that's exciting. Whatnot? Your thoughts on this game?
Well, I'll actually watch this one. This was a game on Saturday that I did watch. I'm firmly on the side of that. It was a good thing for the sport. Obviously, maybe the skill sort of side of things in defence was probably not there, but to see flowing attacking rugby in a game that was constantly ebbing and flowing one way to the other, it was unpredictable, and that sort of excitement is something that we maybe don't see enough in the English games. I firmly think it was a good thing for the sport.
I'd completely agree. If you were to show someone new to the sport and say, look, here's a 42 point to 40 game, have a watch of these 10-minute highlights where it's just going to be constant tries, it's going to help entice new people. And I get what people are saying about, the defensive lapses and that part of the game, but as a whole, great result for Salford, and then just they're through to the next round. And if they can just keep scoring, then almost doesn't matter how many they concede.
Yeah, to be fair, the game reminds me of Lee Huddersfield in 2016. I don't know whether you saw it, but Lee won 48 points to 40. That was the game that they got promoted to Super League in 2017. And that game sticks in my head so much. I remember watching it, and it was so entertaining to watch. And I think that sort of entertaining game has slipped away. So to have another one like that on Saturday was brilliant. And obviously, as you say, Salford came away with a good result. So there's no harm done in it. And I think it was just a brilliant product. And as you say, if you show that to someone new, if you're not enticed by that, then I don't think much can get you excited for rugby league.
Agreed. Completely agreed there. And then going on to the Sunday, we had yourself versus Craig Lingard from last week's interview. Again, it was Hull FC 32, Tigers 8. What was your thoughts here?
Oh, I could talk for days on this one. Great performance from Hull, and it was from minute one. It was almost domination. Casford had a few chances, but again, we've said it for the last 3 weeks. Hull's defence has stood strong. The last 3 games now have scored 72 points. Hull and only conceded 24. When you look at before that, Hull's point difference was minus 150. It's quite the turnaround, and games like Casford really show that they did stand strong, because Casford did have quite a few chances, but obviously Hull kept pushing them away. And then were prolific in attack and scoring a lot of tries. And Tony Smith mentioned it, but I think the crowd really pushed Hull on. 2,300 Hull fans there to 1,800 Castleford fans at Castleford is, quite impressive.
Yeah, on the way home, you messaged me and Dan and sort of said, "Wow, that atmosphere."
Yeah,
you definitely seemed in awe of what just happened, and obviously great to see your team through to the quarterfinals as well.
Yeah, I think the atmosphere was the best point. Obviously, to have Hull fans singing throughout the game and being louder than the Castle fans is brilliant enough. But at the very end, with a cup draw right in front of the Hull FC fans, I think at least like 80-90% of the Hull fans stayed and crammed themselves into that little corner of a stand, and we're all singing and chanting for half an hour. It was just brilliant. It was fantastic to see.
Yeah, definitely. And then the last game of the weekend for the Challenge Cup, York Knights 36, I think it was, London Broncos 12. And I'm again going to look like the worst English rugby league fan in the world here. Didn't really catch any of that at all. I'm not sure if you did.
I didn't catch it in terms of watching it, but I got a lot of updates from that game while at Hullcast, because obviously I wanted to know who win that and hope that we get them in the next round. But I think York it's an incredible performance from them, because at halftime they were 12-8 down and they turned it around, and it's not been the strongest of starts to the championship season for them. And London have been a bit of a resurgent team this year, so for them to completely dominate the second half and turn around a deficit in a cup game against a decent side now is very impressive for them.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm going to make myself sound a bit better here. I did, keep an eye on the score, and I was a bit surprised to see York sort of keep piling on the scoreboard. And it's good to at least have one more championship team in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some magic of a cup that maybe has been lost, not having as many championship ties with Super League ties. So to have even more in more crucial games is great to see.
Yeah, and just sort of on the Challenge Cup as well, I know we spoke about it over message. Myself, Jordan, and Dan from Niche Sports are all sort of looking at the Challenge Cup final, all heading along, and there'll be opportunities there to do things like live stream and get a lot of content from that weekend. So still a wee while away, but definitely something to keep an eye out for on the Niche Sports channel.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a great day out.
Just getting to London, that's the hard part.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just to wrap up the Challenge Cup, and before talking about next week's Super League fixtures, we'll go on to the Knockout Blow, brought to you by His Boxing Equipment. So Jordan, I'm going to let you take the lead on the Knockout Blow this week. Obviously, you were there when it happened. Something that was talked about all of Friday night on Twitter. I'll let you take.
Yeah, Morgan knows his red card. I think it's what was he thinking? I can't figure out what was he actually thinking there. Is it when you're coming back from a ban of that big to go straight in with a silly tackle like that means absolutely nothing. It's like the game's done at that point. There's 20 seconds left. The game is done. Halifax have lost it. Tensions were already rising by that point. There was a little come together between the players about a minute or two before for something fairly innocuous. And then this happens, and it's like, what's going to happen. It's a bad tackle. You're late. You were never going to make it on time. Why would you do that? Because you're costing your team on the day and then in the future.
Yeah, no, you've hit the nail on the head right there, because exactly what I was going to say. There's 20 seconds left, and it's not 20 seconds where you need to win the ball, make your way down field and score a try straight away, you're up comfortably. The fixture's all but over. You're coming back off the ban. It's mind blowing to me that actually happened. I watched it back a few times, and I think on the Saturday morning when I was actually watching it back, and we spoke about it, and just what is going on? What's your what's going through Morgan Knowles' head there?
I saw a stat. Obviously, he's banned for 2 games now because of it, which means he's missing Magic Weekend for a start, which is not what you want. But after Magic Weekend, between Magic Weekend and September 2022, there's 25 games. He will have only played 13 of them and spent 12 banned. So that's basically a 50-50 record.
That's ridiculous. I don't think anyone in any league in the world could say that's what their sort of record with suspension is. It's poor discipline, and
really poor.
It's very, very poor. And yeah, quite rightly deserves this week's slot in Niche Sports Knockout Blow, brought to you by His Boxing Equipment. So moving on to the Super League fixtures for the week coming up, back to full Super League action. And although all the teams were in action last week, it'll all be against sort of equal opposition. And saying that sort of never reigned more true when anyone in the top 10 at least can beat anyone in the Super League at the moment. So we've got some interesting fixtures starting off at 8 o'clock on Thursday night. We've got Hull KR versus Wigan Warriors. And can the first game be game of the round?
It could definitely be. That's one of them games that could again go either way. We say pretty much every fixture now in the NRL and Super League, but I think from a Wigan perspective, they've had one really poor result against Leeds and one difficult result. Hull KR absolutely battered Batley, and to be fair, lost to Warrington, but still a good result. I think Hull KR and Wigan, I would say it probably is tie of a round. Wigan will be licking their lips at an opportunity of a big scalp. Hull KR will be looking to continue on their fine run, and I'm going to say a Hull KR win.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think a Hull KR win. Wigan, big loss to Leeds, close game against Leeds in the Challenge Cup. I think Kate Cust's back now. I think it has been for a couple of weeks actually. But no, Hull KR on this high at the moment, and I think that'll continue on. 50 points now. I know it's against Batley, a league below and stuff, but I'm going to say a Hull KR win. But not so convincingly. Maybe 4 points.
I'd say by 6. So basically agree.
Yeah. Moving on to Friday, and I think it's 6 o'clock UK time, is Catalan's Wakefield. There's only one winner there, surely. yeah, Catalan for sure. Definitely, I'd agree. We say the same things about Wakefield every week, and hopefully, I just want to see some attack from them, and they didn't have that against Hull FC. They didn't have much of it last week in the Challenge Cup either. So, Dragons are going to want to really focus on the league now, being out the Challenge Cup as well. I can see it getting ugly. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're proven wrong, but not too sure. Yeah, I think for Wakefield, a trip to Catalan is tough for any team. Even a team that has won every game this season is a tough game. For Wakefield, who have still yet to win, it's even tougher. And as you say, Catalan will be focusing on the league now they're out of the cup. So I'd agree this could get bad. I'm going to say Catalan by 30. I was about to say the exact same thing. So there we go. Another exact same prediction. And, again, we're treated in the Super League this weekend to 4 Friday night games. The 7:45 kickoff being Huddersfield Giants versus Tigers. Now, this could be an interesting game. It could. I said it in my post-match vlog that Casford, and that I've been saying it on TikTok to some people that I've been chatting to as well. Casford seem to lack that sort of togetherness, and obviously that's a key thing for any side to have. And obviously, when you're in a really bad rut of form and you've got no confidence, if you're not got that togetherness, you know, not a lot you can do. And I don't think Andy Last is the right man for the job, if I'm honest. But Huddersfield are also not in great form. Obviously, they had that brilliant game against Salford, just losing, but before that, losing 2 in a row. It's a game that I think Casford have a really, really good chance in.
And I think it may be a shot, but I'm going to say Casford win here.
Yeah, as am I. That's exactly what I was thinking when I first looked at it. It just they need it, and I think it's just going to come out the bag. And yeah, maybe Last isn't the man for the job, like you say. Obviously, Lingard, who's been on the channel a couple of times now in that assistant coach role. I'm going to say Tigers by 8. Weird.
I'm going to say Tigers by 4. I think it'll be close, but
Yeah,
they'll just edge it.
perfect. So we're agreeing so far.
Yeah.
The 2 8 o'clock games starting off. We've got Leeds Rhinos versus St Helens. I reckon a game that'll be closer than maybe thought when you first look at that fixture.
I agree. I think first off, I'm going to go with a Leeds win for this one. Saints, yes, they're struggling. They looked good against Halifax, but obviously again they're hit by another ban on Morgan Knowles. Leeds are looking good. Could have been 2 wins in a row, very close to 2 wins in a row against Wigan. When we came into it, we were looking at this very tough period for Leeds. We thought maybe 0 wins for them. So I think they're more than capable. It just depends on what Leeds team turns up on the day, because obviously the inconsistency. But if they usually go win-loss, win-loss, so if they continue that form, I think they'll win it. And I think Saints will be still not as high on confidence or playing their best rugby. So I'm going to go Leeds by 10.
Now, I think this is where we're first going to disagree, and I completely understand everything you're saying. And again, like Catalans, that's Leeds out the cup now.
Yeah,
they've only got the league to focus on and getting in that top 6. But I just feel like Saints need to click into gear, and I feel like it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I still think it'll be close. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to go Saints by 6. Another Friday night game this week is Lee versus Warrington, 8 o'clock on Fridays as well. This should be a good game. Warrington 4 points clear at the top of the table. I think it could potentially stay that way come or I don't think they're going to pick up points is what I'm trying to say. I think just an early shout without really talking about the game, I'm going to go Lee by 2. I think it'll be really close.
This is where I'm going to disagree with you this time. I'm gonna say Warrington will win it. Huge result for them down in Catalan. They seem to have bounced back a bit from their tough run of form, and as good as Lee have been, and as confident as they are, he can't be forgotten how good Warrington still are. And I think I still agree it'll be a very close game. But I think Warrington will just edge it. Matty Ashton to have an absolute great game is my bold prediction. But I'm going to go Warrington by 6.
So yeah, similar sort of results, just going different ways, and I think League have that edge at home, like we've seen this season. But yeah, don't get me wrong. If Warrington play like how they played for 80% of this year, then it could be a no contest almost. And then the final game in the Super League this week is Salford Red Devils versus your Hull FC. First of all, as I ask every week, are you heading along?
I'm not this week, unfortunately. And it's the first week in 6 weeks. I'm not going to a single game this week, which is a bit sad, but I can't complain. I've been to a lot. But in terms of the actual game, it's an interesting one. I think obviously the last time the two sides met, Salford won by 60 points to 14. That was a very different Hull side and a very different Salford side.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Salford have had a bit of a how do I put it? Not a great week, disrupted week with a Tyler Dupree news coming out yesterday. Yeah. The fans forum today, the whole news about their credit note scheme.
Oh, exactly.
I think the stuff off a pitch is going to affect them. And Hull FC, well, they're going brilliantly. Tony Smith's completely turned that team around. I think it's good that the young guns are getting their time, like Nick Stavely, Will Gardner. It's all going very, very well recently for them. I don't know. I'm very torn. I'm gonna back my boys. Say Hull FC by 6. But if I wasn't a Hull FC fan, I don't know whether I'd be saying that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm not a Hull FC fan, but I'm going to agree with you. Salford, like you said, everything that's gone on off the field in the past sort of week. Obviously, they got the result against Huddersfield. I think, at the moment, Hull FC are a better team than Huddersfield, and what we speak about so much. Although Salford can attack. Hull FC's defence in the past 3-4 weeks, if not longer, has just been standout. It's almost been their identity. I don't know. I just think Hull FC have also scored points, like you said. What was it, 72 across the last couple of games?
72 to 24.
Exactly. If they can defend as they have and put some points on, we've seen Salford can leak points. I think Hull FC by 12, and I might be completely wrong, and feel free to have a go at me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to jinx your team here, but yeah, I'm quite confident in them.
I think so. It's again a bit dependent on which Hull side turns up. Obviously, they don't really have the sort of inconsistency issue that the teams like Leeds do and some other sides, but I think for them it's just keeping going now. We've got that good run of form. We're climbing that table. It's about keeping going, keeping improving, and we've done that week on week on week. I think Salford's another opportunity to do that, but Salford are a very good side, and have obviously absolutely destroyed Hull already this season. So it's just making sure the same doesn't happen again, really.
Yeah, no, definitely agreed. And something I've been wondering, and sort of I think would be a good insight as well. I know you're a Leeds football fan. What made you a Hull FC fan?
My dad's from Hull, and he likes rugby, and my mum's from Leeds, and she likes football. So
there we go.
Yeah, the difficulty is I'm a Leeds football fan, but I'm a much bigger rugby fan than I am football, and I live in Leeds, so it's a bit of a it gets a bit not great sometimes, shall we say?
Yeah, well, your rail card gets plenty of use anyway.
yeah, absolutely.
So no, that's interesting. No, something I've actually been meaning to ask you. So it's a good insight into your support across the two cities.
Yeah.
Proudly sponsored by heshes.co.uk, a fast-growing boxing equipment brand that give 20% of all sales on the branded products back to a boxing gym of your choice.